Good morning, traders. I'm Dan Pavilonis. This is Cholly Sr. We're both senior commodity brokers at RJO Futures. Today we're here to discuss the crop progress report, the supply and demand from world and from the states. It comes out on Thursday at 11 o'clock, and we're going to discuss everything from the weather, any big surprises, and everything of that nature. Frank, what do you think?
Well, Dan, just like the big quarterly report we had in June, I think my first focus is going to be on the stocks. Right now, the big news is just how tight supplies are. And you can see in these old crop, new crop spreads, they're really wide. It's $3.50 from July to November soybeans, almost $2 from July to December corn. So the market's very concerned with the very tight supply. And while it looks like we can have a good crop this year, there's still enough time, there's enough uncertainty in the market that we can't really allow those prices to go lower right now. You saw yesterday and today some firming up in the new crop prices. And I think it's because there is such a tight supply here that we're going to need a really big crop before prices could come down because, again, the tightness of the old crop is rather severe. So my focus will be on the stocks. And, I feel like I say this all the time when we sit down and we talk about these reports. Once the report's done and out of the way, I'll turn my focus back to the weather.
Okay. What do you think the CFTC is report showing that massive fund selling in corn last week and net selling of 90,000 contracts, putting managed money in position of a net short 20,000 contracts in the corn market? You think they're positioning ahead of Thursday's number?
I think, for the most part, these guys are really just trend followers. It's not a big focus on the fundamentals. Grains try to trade fundamentals, and sometimes outside markets become a big influence. But for the most part, these big hedge funds are simply jumping on a trend. And I think that what they see is a market that, between now and October, November, December, prices may go a little higher. But towards the end of the year, into early next year, I'd be very surprised if we don't see crop prices moderate on some pretty good crops. I think we're going to have some good yields from corn and soybeans. I think the market had a little trouble believing in last month's report. We saw that big acreage number on corn, and I think the reason the corn market wasn't much lower that day was that, traders have a hard time believing that we have 97 million acres of corn. So, again, there is a lot of time still. The crop could get better or worse. At this point, last week we saw the USDA reported that the crop condition in corn is 68% good to excellent. That is above the 10-year average is something like 64 or 65, and soybeans are better. Right now what they're saying is in the coming weeks we'll probably see some deterioration in the quality of the crop and the condition of the crop, and they're just trying to price that in until the market feels comfortable letting prices come down, knowing that we are going to rebuild that very tight supply.
What do you think about beans? I was reading that Brazil raised their corn crop. They raised their corn crop estimate from 79.1 million to 78.5 million, and if that's the case, it would be the record on file now.
Yeah, we know that there's some big crops coming out of South America, and again, what really seems to be a problem is the logistics of moving the crop out of the country. I'm surprised we haven't seen more shift in demand away from North American crops to South American crops where there is a bountiful supply, where prices are economically more feasible or make more sense to go that way. It's just a question of getting it out.
Yeah, they have a lot of beans too. So I mean,
they got a lot of beans.
So CFTC, the commitment to traders showed that money managers are getting net short corn, and then also reduce their long position by 111,000 contracts on beans. And I don't know. My bias is to the downside on both markets. I think that these guys might be getting ahead of something here, and I don't know. We'll see with this report and
Right,
what it has in
and I
store
tend
for
to
us.
agree with you also, and I think that longer term, and it's probably a little risky, to just try and, short the market now when we haven't gotten into the most critical stage of development with the pollination of corn and pod filling in the soybeans. There is some warm weather coming. We need some warm weather. We need some drier weather, but the concern is that we have an extended period of hot and dry at the very critical time that will, threaten the condition of the crop more than improve it. So there's a lot of time here to wait and see. And again, that's why I get back to, hey, man, once we get this report out,
Uh-huh.
we're going to focus on the weather again because the weather is the most dominating driver in the size of the crop. Not that we got 97 million acres or 77 million acres, but that the weather cooperates in a way that we have some good yields. I think, bushels per acre is going to be more important than the actual number of acres.
What if the last report that came out showed what was it, 97 million acres? What if
Yeah.
that really does have decent yield? And what do you think?
We're going to have a lot of corn.
Yeah.
And I believe we've already seen a good amount of demand destruction there because of the high prices that we've had for the past few years. We've seen less demand for corn, with the exception of, the ethanol thing. If that were to go away, corn prices would really come down. I'm not suggesting that would go away. I'm just saying that that's a new, component that needs to be factored into usage. And I think that's a big driver of, why corn prices are where they are today. But if we get these yields in corn, 155 bushels or so, and we've got 97 million acres, we'll have enough corn that the traders will feel comfortable in letting the price come down some.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well, there you have it. Dan Pavilonis, Cholly Senior Brokers. And remember, you can follow us on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. And remember, trading has a level of risk and is not suitable for everyone. Thank you.